Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many of us. Relationships can be incredibly rewarding, but they can also be incredibly challenging. Whether you're in a new relationship or have been with your partner for years, it's normal to hit a few bumps along the way. Look, relationships are tough, there are no two ways about it. We all have our ups and downs, and sometimes it feels like the downs are never ending. You might find yourself wondering if your partner is still as committed as they once were, or if their feelings have changed over time. And sometimes it can be hard to tell if your partner is really in it for the long haul, or if their heart just ain't in it anymore. Maybe they've become distant, or perhaps the spark that once ignited your relationship seems to have fizzled out. These are tough questions, but they're important to address. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to explore the signs that might indicate your relationship is on the rocks, and what you can do about it. It's not always easy to face these issues head-on, but it's crucial for your emotional well-being and the health of your relationship. If you're finding yourself constantly questioning your relationship, you need to hit that subscribe button and get ready to take some notes. We're going to break down the 10 signs that your partner might not love you anymore, and trust me, you won't want to miss this. We're diving deep into the 10 signs your partner might not love you anymore. From changes in communication to shifts in behavior, we'll cover it all. So grab a pen and paper or open up your notes app because this is going to be a comprehensive guide. And stick around to the end of the video because I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. Your experiences and insights are invaluable, and sharing them can help others who might be going through the same thing. Let's get real, let's get honest, and let's figure this thing out together. Relationships are a journey, and sometimes we need a little guidance to navigate the rough patches. So let's dive in and start this important conversation. So you used to talk about everything, right? Those late night conversations that stretched into the early hours of the morning where you felt like you could share anything and everything, your hopes, your dreams, how your day was. Now, crickets. It's like the silence has taken over and those meaningful conversations have vanished into thin air. That, my friend, is a big old red flag. When the lines of communication start to break down, it's often a sign that something deeper is going wrong. When love starts fading, that communication often goes right out the window with it. Arguments become more frequent and the distance between you grows. It can be little things at first. Maybe they're not texting back as quickly, or they seem distant when you're talking. You start to feel like you're talking to a wall. Maybe they're not texting back as quickly, or they seem distant when you're talking. You start to feel like you're talking to a wall. The warmth and connection you once felt is replaced by a cold, unyielding silence. But over time it becomes this great wall of silence, and let me tell you, that silence screams volumes. It's not just about the words that aren't being said, it's about the emotional distance that's growing between you. You deserve to be heard, you deserve to be listened to. Communication is the foundation of any strong relationship, and without it, everything else starts to crumble. And if your partner can't even give you that, well, you gotta ask yourself, what are they really giving you? It's time to take a hard look at your relationship and decide if it's worth fighting for, or if it's time to move on. Look, physical intimacy, that's the glue that holds a lot of relationships together. It's not just about sex, though that's a part of it. It's about holding hands, it's about cuddling on the couch, it's about that simple touch that says, hey, I'm here and I'm glad you are too. When that starts to fade, it's a sign that something's off. Maybe they're always too tired or they're quick to pull away when you try to get close. Whatever the excuse is, you need to pay attention to that distance, because that distance is often a physical manifestation of a much deeper emotional distance that's creeping in. Remember when you first started dating and everything was sunshine and rainbows? You could practically do no wrong in their eyes. But now? Now it seems like everything you do just sets them off. You're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do the wrong thing. That kind of constant tension, that's not healthy. It's a sign that there's a lot of unresolved resentment and frustration boiling beneath the surface. And if they're taking it out on you, well, that's a sign that they're not dealing with their own stuff in a healthy way. When you're in love, you want to spend time with that person, right? You want to be around them as much as possible. So, when your partner starts finding every excuse in the book to be away from you, that should raise some serious red flags. Maybe they're working late all the time, or they're always out with their friends. Whatever it is, they're choosing to spend their time elsewhere. and that's a clear sign that their priorities have shifted. And if you're not at the top of that list anymore, well, you need to ask yourself why. You know you're in a solid relationship when you can see yourself building a future with that person. You talk about your dreams, you make plans, you're excited about what the future holds. But when those conversations stop, when the future suddenly seems murky and uncertain, that's a sign that things are headed south. If your partner is hesitant to talk about the future, or if they're constantly shutting down your attempts to make plans, it could be because they don't see you in their future anymore. And that's a tough pill to swallow, but it's better to face the truth than to live in a fantasy. A loving relationship, it's built on a foundation of emotional intimacy. It's about being vulnerable. It's about sharing your feelings. It's about being there for each other through thick and thin. But when one person starts shutting down emotionally, when they build walls around their heart and refuse to let anyone in, that creates a huge chasm in the relationship. They might deflect your attempts to talk about their feelings, or they might just go completely silent when you try to connect with them on a deeper level. And that kind of emotional unavailability, it can be incredibly lonely and isolating. It can make you feel like you're living with a stranger. Remember when you could do no wrong? Yeah, those days are long gone. Now it seems like everything you do is wrong, and your partner is always there to point it out. They criticize your every move, they blame you for their own unhappiness, and they never seem to miss an opportunity to put you down. That kind of constant negativity, it's toxic. It wears you down, it erodes your self-esteem, and it creates a breeding ground for resentment. You deserve to be with someone who lifts you up, not someone who constantly tears you down. Relationships take work, folks. They require effort from both partners. But somewhere along the way, your partner seems to have forgotten that memo. They've stopped putting in the effort, they've stopped trying to make you feel special, and they've just stopped trying in general. The grand gestures have disappeared, the thoughtful gifts are a distant memory, and even the simplest acts of kindness seem like a chore to them. And that lack of effort, it speaks volumes. It says, I'm not invested in this anymore, and it's a clear sign that they've checked out of the relationship. Honesty, it's the foundation of any healthy relationship. But lately your partner's been acting a little shady. They're being secretive with their phone, they're evasive when you ask about their day, and they're just not being upfront with you about what's going on in their life. That kind of secrecy, it breeds suspicion and distrust, and it can be incredibly damaging to a relationship. If your partner has something to hide, that's a major red flag. And it's time to have a serious conversation about what's really going on. Indifference, it's the opposite of love. It's apathy, it's disinterest, it's just not caring one way or the other. And when your partner starts showing signs of indifference towards you in the relationship, that's a sign that things are in serious trouble. They might not react to your good news, they might not seem to care about your problems, and they might just seem generally checked out of the relationship. That kind of emotional detachment, it's a sign that they've already moved on emotionally, even if they haven't physically. So there you have it, folks. We've just gone through 10 tough signs that your partner might not be feeling the love anymore. It's never easy to face these realities, but recognizing them is the first step towards finding your own voice and strength in a relationship. These signs can be subtle or glaringly obvious, but they all point to one thing: a disconnect that needs addressing. Whether it's a lack of communication, constant arguments, or feeling unappreciated, these are red flags that shouldn't be ignored. Remember, relationships are a two-way street. Both partners need to put in the effort to make it work. It's about mutual respect, understanding, and love. If one person is always giving while the other is just taking, it's bound to create an imbalance. You deserve to be with someone who loves you, cherishes you, and makes you feel like $1,000,000. Someone who supports your dreams, listens to your concerns, and stands by you through thick and thin. Don't settle for anything less. Your happiness and well-being are paramount. It's important to recognize your worth and not compromise on the love and respect you deserve. If you're in a relationship that's making you unhappy, it's time to have a serious conversation with yourself and with your partner. Reflect on what you truly want and need from a relationship. Open and honest communication is key to resolving issues, and if things don't change, well, sometimes you have to walk away in order to find your own happiness. It's a tough decision, but staying in a toxic relationship can do more harm than good. Prioritize your mental and emotional health. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced any of these signs in your own relationships? How did you handle it? Sharing your experiences can help others who might be going through the same thing. Let me know in the comments below. Your stories and insights are valuable, and they can provide support and encouragement to others in the community. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more relationship advice. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of love and relationships. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us create more content that can make a difference in people's lives. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Remember, you are worthy of love and happiness. Stay strong and keep believing in yourself.